This is Carrie Johnson with the Iowa Department of Management, and this is segment 6 of a 7-part webinar series designed to assist county auditors and their staff as they submit the 2024 valuations to the Department of Management's online system. This particular segment is going to talk about finalizing and filing the data within the system. Before filing the data, we do encourage you to run errors checks and take a look at that rollback worksheet. If you make any changes, be sure to rerun the errors check and rollback reports just to make sure that any changes you made carried through, didn't make any, trip up and make any other errors pop up. Keep in mind that you can't flip-flop taxing district numbers from year to year. You can't change taxing districts from TIF base to TIF increment or vice versa. You can't change a non-TIF taxing district to a TIF taxing district or vice versa. You can't change a taxing district property type from rural to urban or urban to rural or city exempt to non-city exempt and vice versa. You can't submit any negative values. If you try to submit a negative value, the system is going to catch that. You can't submit negative military exemptions or negative homestead amounts either. Any final checks, you do want to double check with the assessor, make sure that you understand, the changes that have happened within the value from the time that they filed with Department of Revenue, their abstract, and your filing. Check to determine if there are any adjustment issues affecting the value since the assessor submitted them to you. So were there any major PAB cases or district court settlements that reduced value, etc. You do want to check TIF. Manually check your TIF district valuations and just make sure that the software generated amounts equal the amounts calculated using the TIF formula. If a TIF authority requests less than the amount authorized, make sure that you're managing that within your software by reallocating unneeded increment value over to the base value. Any assessment limitation comes off of the base district first, and make sure that your 100% and taxable value are both appropriately distributed between the base and increment tax districts. I mentioned this earlier, but if you have any tax districts that were created or deleted and contained utility values, whether that be gas and electric, centrally assessed values, if you made any of those types of changes, you do need to use IDR Form 2 and communicate those changes to Department of Revenue and to the impacted companies. This probably most likely occurs if you've got annexations, school reorganizations where you have to move value around or eliminate some tax districts, or even situations where you're splitting tax districts for split fire districts in a township. Anytime you move a tax district move utility value from what it was reported to you in to another tax district, you need to communicate that so they can make sure to reconcile with their state system. While you're working in the system, when you feel that you're done, you're going to be asked to file with DOM in order for your reports to be made public and for data to pull then into the Department of Management's online budget system, into those budgets. So then when your cities and school and et cetera go in to work on their budgets, the valuation is populated there for calculation of taxes. And anytime you go in and make changes, you do need to file with DOM again to finalize those changes. So in order to file data, you go over to the left-hand navigation, you go to File, Unfiled Data. Now, you're always going to be in work in progress once you've uploaded data. So if you've uploaded a file and you're still working in the file and double checking things, running reports, etc., you're going to be as a work in progress and your data is not yet public. Once you've done your numerous checks, reconciled what you're seeing on the screen with your local software, you can then file the data. And it's going to say, are you sure you want to file the data and make your data available to the public? You select yes. So what you'd want to see obviously is the green, that your data has been filed successfully. If you get a red, that means you have errors and you need to fix those prior to filing your data. If you do need to unfile data for corrections, say it's you filed on January 2nd, and then on January 3rd, you find out that there's a large change in value due to a court settlement. And we want to go ahead and reflect that change. It's still early. Nobody's really, finalized their budget yet. So we want to go ahead and let that change happen. So you'd go into the system, you would unfile your data in order to make it not public again. And it's going to say, are you sure you want to unfile, make your data unavailable to the public? So it's going to change you to a work in progress status. Then you can, make your changes, upload a new file, do all your checks again, all your errors checks, and run reports and do your comparisons, and then file your data again to make it final. You do need to provide valuation reports via the Department of Management's online system into all levy authorities by January 1, obviously January 2nd, since January 1 is a holiday. When someone hits the public side of our online application, they can see the status of reporting. So each and every county is listed, and they're listed as valuations not filed or filed, depending on what your status is. So that's a quick way for your folks, your schools and your cities and whoever, to just double check and see where you are with your valuation status. As I mentioned, there are a variety of public reports. Folks can go directly to the property valuations segment of our website, click on the valuation system, and then look at public reports. They don't need to log in. There's a variety of reports that they can pull up for valuation. Statewide reports, county-specific reports, levy authority-specific reports, both 100% and taxable. So anyone can access it. They don't need to log in. There's just the reports that are available to them are just slightly more limited than what's available to someone with county auditor access. And this is also how counties can access the reports of other counties. So if you're curious about another county's particular value growth or what have you, this is how you can go in and pull up their report. Also, if you have some shared levy authorities with other counties, it's a quick way for you to go and see if all the value has been filed for a particular levy authority, etc. So this is, again, what the reports look like for the public, very similar to what they look like for county auditors. Under Actions, there's a PDF, there's a CSV option that can be used in order to download and dump it into Excel for modifications. Refiling values, again, make sure you file data with DOM after you make any changes. And if you have had a large change in your value, you do want to let any impacted levy authorities know about that change. Depending on sort of the time frame of the change, it may impact their budget process. So once we get past, say, February 1, if there are changes to the system, I do ask that you kind of reach out and communicate that to me. We'll see how that might impact different levy authorities, and if anyone's gotten into their budget process enough that it needs to, we need to take a look at their calculation of rates and et cetera. If you do have any questions regarding filing your data, finalizing it, refiling after corrections, etc., please let me know via phone or email. Thank you.